Ravens live. Seahawks Eagle.
Welcome back, fellas. Welcome back. Real Talk Show, episode 9. All Hail Kings, AFC, NFC conference. We're getting to that stretch. Week 12, we're in. About to be at the end of week 12. We'll talk about matchups, talk about the plugs, as always. Got to do my plugs. We also got to talk about what's going on around the league, man. Shit, we are flying. That's all I know. We're flying through the league. Guys are knocking their games out. Things are where they need to be at. And that's important. Season 1, while everybody's still getting used to the game, still upset with EA with the bugs and the things that they put us through after we spend our $100, $70 at the most, 100 for those that get it early. You know, we spend our money, they fuck us. Simple as that. But we fight through. That's what we do. Game of Thrones 4. It's the 4th year of Game of Thrones, man. The league is, you know, better than ever. It's always been positive to see it go on upside, you know. The competition is still thick. Guys are locked in, you know what I mean? Guys are filling out their teams. You know, you got guys out here dominating. Same shit, you know, that we always got going on, man. So as always, we get into our top 10 while we're in week 12 right now. Now, take in mind that there are going to be some teams that played their game week 12 already. So things aren't, you know, until we advance, we don't have a clear cut, but we do still have an undefeated team in the league. In fact, the Chargers are still undefeated right now with 512 points scored and only giving up 142. But that Cardinals defense is really good as well. 138 points given up. They got 431 total points scored as well. 10-1 for the Cardinals, 10-0 for the Chargers right now. That's the matchup that we're waiting on. That's the matchup that we're waiting on to be able to advance the league. Chargers versus the Cardinals. Let's dig into a little bit of those two coaches. You got Coach Craig, who is now in the Cardinals, who is dominating the AFC West right now. And then there's the boy Goatfault, who's also the Cardinals once again, and he is in the NFC West dominating right now. 10-1 record. Only mishap they had was against the Philadelphia Eagles, and Coach Boone came in with 3 pick sixes in that game. 21 points scored on defense allowed the Eagles to secure the dub against the Cardinals. But let's stay there for a second. 1 and 2. Talk about the season that they're having right now. All right, so Justin Herbert, man, 3,782 yards passing, 44 touchdowns versus 11 interceptions. He has a high completion percentage of 74, 378.2 yards per game with 137.4 QBR, 11.5 yards per play, and his longest play of this passing season, longest pass on the season was 89, sacked 28 times. Very efficient. Herbert's picked up from where he left off in real life last year. And, you know, he's into a coach that has a good understanding on how, you know, to throw the ball and when they're going to throw the ball, where and to whom, to allow their quarterback to have a really good QBR and a high QB completion percentage. Herbert is looking like the real deal this year, man. Franchise quarterback on one of the better Madden teams in this year's 2023. They're flying high right now. The Chargers are the team to beat at this point. AFC or NFC with a 10-0 record. Are they going to be the first team to make the Miami Dolphins put their champagne bottles to rest? Or are they going to allow them to pop that corpse? Well, guess what? They have a big game this week. I don't know how big this game is considering season 1. But all games matter, right? All games matter. But I do know the path of how guys are getting to what they're getting to. The most important thing is to build your team, put it together, understand the team, understand what your future going to look like, and it's a marathon, not a race. So right now, Herbert said, I'm racing to the MVP. Fuck what y'all talking about, because he's balling right now, man. Like I said, 3,700 yards in the season in 12 games, or 11 games. All right, Austin Eckler, superstar running back for the Chargers, man. 182 carries, 986 yards. Look like we're dealing with on his way to 1,000 yards. 5.4 yards a pop. Anytime your running back is over 4 yards a carry, you're in a good situation. He also got 16 rushing touchdowns on the ground, 98.6 average per game. He was literally 2 yards away from, well, 1 yard away from having a 100-yard game every game. One fumble, 49 broken tackles, his longest run on the season, 43 yards. Outside of that, Herbert's the next man with carries for 3. So you don't really see too much work from any backup running back. So it's the Austin Eckler show coming out of the backfield in Los Angeles. We take a look at their receiving core. Gerald Everett, superstar Everett, played himself into that. Now he's 75 catches. I mean, listen, man, this is a good old veteran tight end, man. That 5 years in, this guy fits exactly what the Cardinals like to, and the Chargers like to do. So they got themselves a really good tight end because he has seasons under his belt. So he's a veteran, and because of that, he's dominating right now, and he's playing at a higher level because that's what that coach does. In Los Angeles, you give that coach a tight end, and his quarterback becomes tight end friendly. 1,000-yard tight end already, 1293. I don't think you're going to find too many other tight ends in the league that has 1,000 yards or also 75 catches on the year with 22 receiving touchdowns. He is having an all-world season. This guy's on a breakout for sure, on his way to superstar X Factor status. 129.3 yards a game. Can anybody stop Gerald Everett? GE is getting it done with those 22 touchdowns, 304 after contact, 4.1 yards after contact as well. His longest play on this season was 53 yards. Keenan Allen, the number 1 receiver. If you look at the game and in real life, you're looking at a top 5 receiver in real life, and especially on a game, top 5 receiver. Keenan Allen won't burn you with speed, but he will burn you with being a veteran. 9 years in, this guy is smooth. He understands the game. He's going to run the routes the right way. He's going to draw attention. If you're not double teaming him and you got a corner that's not up to his caliber in front of him, you're going to lose that matchup 9 out of 10. 60 catches on the year. He has 1,000 yards as well. Looks like that's 138 or 184, 1,084. But he has 18.1 yards a catch. I mean, medium range throwing right now. Tight end numbers from Keenan Allen, which is the offense of the Chargers, man. Medium range throwing. Mike Williams, the other superstar receiver they have on their team, 21 catches, 344, 15.4. He just signed a big contract 5 years in. A little frustrated right now, but he understands winning is more important than my stat line. As long as we're winning and I can produce somewhat for this team, I will. Their slot receiver is Jalen Guyton. He outbeat Palmer for this position. 16 catches on the year, 306, 19.1 yards a pop, 3 touchdowns on the year. All right, so the receiving game is looking really smooth for the Chargers right now. Seems like the quarterback is in a rhythm, and he's getting the ball to his playmakers, and they're making things happen right now. So you're getting it done from the run game and the passing game when it comes down to Chargers offensively. They're hitting on all cylinders. This is a big matchup. The Cardinals got to better deal with this type of arsenal right now, man. This team sticks to their playbook, and they attack, and they will not make a lot of mistakes. That's the one thing they build their character on, not making mistakes and allowing the other team to make those mistakes. 8 touchdowns from Keenan Allen, 4 from Eckler out the backfield. Now, this is big in the game where, again, you don't have a lot of time to throw the football downfield. So your running back got to get active in games. And you can see Eckler not only has almost 1,000 yards rushing, but he also contributed with 51 catches, 426 yards. He's averaging 6.4 catch, 4 touchdowns as well. So he's balling out right now. Now we slide over to the defensive side of things. This is where one of the best defenses in the game right now. This is where they get sticky at right now. Khalil Mack, man, that was a good trade for them. They brought Khalil Mack in, 49 tackles on the year, 22 tackles for losses, 10.5 sacks. Kenneth Murray, the man in the middle, he's second year in from out of Oklahoma. This guy can get to it, right? He's building. He's going to be a player. Especially when you give a user like Craig a guy that he can move, that's movable, like meaning got good speed, solid speed to be able to do some things. He's second on with 49, so we got their highest tackler guys are at 49 right now. Both their linebackers. Khalil Mack has actually moved to the D-end. 13 tackle for losses from the man in the middle. He has 5 interceptions on the season as well, so he's doing a really good job playing middle linebacker for the Chargers. They found their captain, Derwin James, Kenneth Murray Jr. These guys are guys, that get the calls and they make plays to get their guys in the right situations and make them do what they do. 45 tackles from Derwin James. You got a special player in X Factor, Derwin. because Derwin is big enough to be able to go down in the box and play sub linebacker as well. He's definitely a thumper, hard hitter, and he's very, very athletic from out of Florida State. Derwin James can do a little bit of everything, man. He can cover, he can play at that linebacker level, he can do it all. 45 tackles, 3 tackles for loss, 7 INTs on the year. Joey Bosa with 44 tackles, 22 tackles for loss, 11.5 sacks. So you got your 2 best outside. And listen, there's not a better tandem in the league right now than Joey Bosa and Khalil Mack coming off the edge. As you can see, 11.5 sacks, 10.5 sacks from their 2 superstar X-Factor monsters. They got a young rookie and JT Woods, really good speed, 35 tackles, 4 interceptions as well. Stepping up for these guys. Bryce Callahan from that slot cornerback position with 7 interceptions. He's up there top the league. Now, look, Bryce is one of those corners that 7 years in, overall wise right now, he's better than 90% of the players that's going to line up in front of him in that slot. Unless guys are putting their number 1 guy there. Asante Samuel's coming off his first year, first rookie season. Asante Samuel Jr., Florida State, as a, my Florida State boy stand up. But Asante Samuel Jr. got a half a sack, 4 tackles for losses in a year, and he also contributed with 4 interceptions. I do think the Chargers are leading the entire league in INTs as a team. 2 from Newman, and Tranquil has 2 as well off that outside linebacker league. They got a bunch of DNs and linebackers that can be sneaky, because if you take a look, I think one of their guys like Bosa has an interception on the year. What about Mac? Mac also has a pick in the year. You get caught thinking you're going to get to the flat right away. They do drop their DNs. Have 4 of them coming, 3 come, 1 can drop. Nice little scheme that the Chargers mastered last year. Coach Craig mastered it last year. Seems like he's still doing it, and he's still comfortable with it. So you got to be careful. Not only do they ask their DNs and outside linebackers that are great pass rushers to go get the quarterback, they also want them to contribute in a run game. I mean, 22 tackles for losses out of both of those guys. That's a lot of tackles in the backfield. But they also ask them to drop back and give us a little bit in coverage as well, if you can. So they're doing a good job. This defense looks strong. Their offense looks strong. They're giving up, they're second in the league in points given up, first in the league in points scored. So this team is legit right now, man. It looks like the team to beat in the AFC. Now, we get to the Cardinals. Let's look at that NFC team over there that's doing what they do. Listen, man, Kyler Murray is Kyler Murray, right? And you think Kyler Murray still got a learning curve, which he does. But you add Coach Falk, and you bring him over here to a guy like Kyler Murray, who he's accustomed to playing with, and he still got him reading the field really well. 63 completion percentage, 358.3 yards a game, 110 QBR, 3,941 yards, 42 touchdowns, 25 interceptions. When I asked him about Kyler Murray and the INTs, his comment was, "Look, bro, we're learning this game, right? And as I'm learning the game, I'm learning my team. We're going to take chances. You're not going to know what you can do until you open it up and try to figure some things out. This is not scared throwing football. That's out of the horse's mouth. I'm not scared to let that thing go. Like at every level of the field, whether it's a short pass, medium pass, or a deep pass, we're not playing safe at all. And it can get me in trouble. And I'm repeating the coach's comments. It's going to get us in trouble. We're throwing way more picks than we would like to. Hopefully, coming into year 2, the interceptions turned down, and we will have, the understanding of where we could place the ball placement, things like that. But we want Kyler Murray to use his arms, and he does have one of the stronger arms as a quarterback. He's very deadly accurate. They want him to just be him. They don't want to hold him back. They're not tying his hands. They allow him to do the things that he needs to do for this team to be successful. And obviously, they are successful with only 1 loss on the year. Again, the 25 interceptions, he does say he would like, to turn the interceptions down. But year 1 is all about trying, right? Trying things and getting your team ready to be a complete team. Simple as that. Now, the one surprise that I thought these guys would need to find some real help at is at the running back position. Obviously, you got Kyler Murray and what he could do with his legs, but Keontae Ingram has stepped up in a way, none expected, right? But I expected it. You're in my league right now. I understand who these college players are. All right, so he started his career off at Texas, transferred to USC. But Keontae Ingram is a really good running back. And I think he's starting to prove that. 140 carries, 7.5, 5.5 yards a pop, 6 rushing touchdowns. He's averaging 70.5 yards a game. He's gotten better as the season has been going because, he wasn't really getting the touches. He wasn't really understanding how to use him. And, not only is he stepping up for them in the passing game, he's doing what he needs them to do in the run game. And don't get it twisted. This is an air raid offense, spread out, throw the ball around the park team with a strong running back. And if they can get 1,000 yards, 1,200 rushing yards out of that running back, double-digit touchdowns every year, this offense is scary. Let's look at the receiving line. Listen, when you think about the Browns, you want to call them the new or the old Kansas City Chiefs. When you're a head coach or your GM is bringing guys in like Marquise Brown, they go get one of the fastest tight ends in the rookie class. Rondale Moore runs a 4.2. Isabella, who ran a 4.3. When you bring guys in like that and that speed is placed everywhere, it's like having toys. You know what I mean? It's like opening up a gift Christmas when you were 7, 8 years old and you still believed in Santa Claus, and that special toy was under the tree that was way back behind everything else, and you open half your gifts and think you ain't get what you really wanted, and boom, Hollywood Brown shows up. And then boom, extra bonus, the tight end McBride shows up. I think he's done a really good job with the rookie tight end Trey McBride here. 56 catches, 998 yards on the year, 10 touchdowns. He's almost 100 yards a game as well. But when you look at the spread out between the receivers on this football team, this offense is not even where they would like to be at. And you see the sharing of the football. Kyler Murray is not biased. He is not locked into one guy, maybe a guy or two. He is locked into the offense. And the offense dictates where the football is going and who's going to get it. So when you got guys playing like this, your running back with 29 catches, 3 out of your 4 starting receivers, because this team is an air raid team, so they got 4 starting receivers. 3 out of 4 of them are having a nice year. They are contributing in a big time way. And then you bring the rookie in and sit Zach Ertz down, and the rookie Trey McBride is playing at such a high level right now. He becomes a vital part of your offense as well. Look at this: 49 catches, 10.26 for Marquise, 20.9 yards a pop, 93.3 yards a game, 12 touchdowns. McBride, not only has he kicked in, but the tight end number, 17.8. That's around tight end number average right there. 998, 2 yards away from 1,000 yards, 10 touchdowns as well. My favorite player, Rondale Moore, 55, the speed demon, 866. He's on his way to 1,000-yard season as well with 12 touchdowns, 15.7. Now, I don't know if Rondale's a receiver on the outside or inside, but this guy can do everything. You have a player that can play running back for you, that can do your jet sweeps. He's not Hollywood Brown. Hollywood don't want to be pressed. Hollywood don't want to catch the tough passes over the middle. Rondale Moore, who squats almost 700 pounds, whose vertical is 48, whose speed is 4.2, who played running back as well as receiver out there in Purdue, and was one of the single-handedly players on that Purdue team that upset Ohio State a couple of years ago during his junior year campaign. I think it might have been his sophomore year campaign. Freshman, sophomore year, one of those years. And he accounted for every last touchdown that Purdue had. That guy is still in the building right now. And then Isabella, a quiet player in real life, but on the game, he's a great Madden player because of the speed. And they're getting all these guys involved. So when it comes late and you take away their 2 top weapons and they need to get a play on a 4th and 6 and the game is on the line, he can count on Isabella because he's been there before. 34 catches, 608 yards, and it seems like with six more games left, maybe Isabella go over 1,000 yards as well. We might be seeing a few 1,000-yard receivers on this roster. And right now, it looks like 4 of them are in weeks, with 2 of them right there. 2 of them are, somewhere between 200 and 400 yards away from it. So it's a nice mix, nice spread out between the two. This is a lot of weaponry to stop. When you look at that game, Cardinals-Chargers, this is the game where, the Chargers defense is really solid. They come into it with one of the better defenses already. And then you got a coach who plays a really good system. Really good coverage system. They love the match coverage, cover 4. They have no problem putting their guys in man-to-man on you at all either. And so it's going to be a lot of matchup situations here when you look at your top receiver versus the top corner, right? Top number 2, the matchup, the puzzle piece, the chess game is there for this team. Surprisingly, we see some good defense being played. And one thing about Coach Falk, I will say this, he finds a way to get guys to play at a higher level than they're supposed to be playing. If you expect them to play, he does a really good job of getting guys active. We know, 9 out of 10, Isaiah Simmons, before it's all said and done, will be a linebacker that will end the season end the disc or the league with 100 interceptions. We've seen it every year. You get your linebacker, and not only do you get a guy, you got a guy that really is a cover guy who can play multiple positions: DN, safety, outside linebacker, middle linebacker. He can play it all. He's really good at coverage, and he's getting really good at being a pure linebacker at this point as well. Buda Baker, you got a superstar X Factor, I think, or he might just be a superstar. I'm not sure. Does he come in on the game with an X Factor or a superstar? But he's the man in the middle. He's the guy back deep, 9 tackles for losses. He got a sack for 6 INTs as well. Jalen Thompson, now you got 2 dog safeties that's playing at a high level, 46 tackles, 3 tackles for loss, now 8 interceptions there too. All right, so this is where the Cardinals, in my opinion, find guys to play at a high level. Xavier Collins, 1 year in guy, 46 tackles, 8 tackles for loss, sack and a half. Then you got Cameron Thomas in his rookie year out of San Diego State, 43 tackles, 18 tackles for loss, 7.5 sacks as well. They're getting to it. Then you get young Vicky D to get over here with 5 sacks as well. Move J.J. Watt to the D tackle, which is smooth as hell. It's probably the best thing you could have did. Gives him an extra few years to be a dog, although he's watching him because you don't want J.J. Watt at his age not to have good numbers playing D tackle to be able to keep his ability. Those 30 and older guys will lose their abilities if they're not playing at a high level. Simple as that. So let's talk about this matchup a little bit more because that's the number 1 and 2 team in the league right now. Chargers being undefeated, looking to keep their undefeated season going, with the Cardinals looking to interrupt that with their 10-1 record as well. I think this is a good game. I think, I will say this. You take the level of severity away in season 1. I can speak for Falk. I can't speak for Craig. But if it's Craig, it's the same Craig I've always known. It's all about a win for him. Simple as that. No matter how he gets to that win, that's all that matters. I do know Falk, years of playing Madden with him. I know year 1 is a process for him. It's a building process. It's, I want to dominate, but at the same time, I want to build my team. So I don't think the spice of this game will be as high intensity as it would be, if this was a playoff game or a Super Bowl, things like that. What I do think is, I think Falk will come into this game wanting to win it, as well as Craig. But I think Falk will come into this game and win with the same game plan he's been in all his games, though. I don't think he treats this game any different. I think he stays with this game and looks at it as, what's up, bro? Looks at it as another game to better get better and get our team playing the way we want them to play. But I'm going to tell you like this. When the record is 10-0 and another record is 10-1, that game matters no matter what, right? No matter slice and dice it, this will be the game all eyes will be on, and we'll get into it. But these two are the top teams in the league right now. In the NFC, you have the Cardinals at 10-1, and in the AFC, the Chargers are undefeated. Let's get back to our standings and find out where our teams are right now. Here we go. All right, so after we get around to 1 and 2 teams in the NFL, now we go to number 3 team. How about Coach Foe with that Broncos team sitting at 9-1 right now, number 4 in the league? At 5, you got the Commanders, and Coach Hitter got those Washington Commanders with the hottest uniforms in the league right now, sitting at 4, 9-2 on an 8-game winning streak. All right, our Lions, one of the teams that I said would be one of the best Madden teams as they develop and get up. They got one of the sneaky, must-play with teams with the speed they got over there and some of that young talent, sitting at 8-3. However, they did lose, so they will drop from out of that top 5. But the Tampa Bay Buccaneers was creeping their way back up in there. Let me find out they lost to the Cleveland Browns. I don't know. Did Tom Brady lose to the Cleveland Browns and Deshaun Watson? Is that what I'm seeing right now? They got a -1 next to them right now, but they sitting at 6 right now. They're in the top 10. I don't think they drop out of the top 10. The Bills are marking and moving their way back up. Remember, this is one of my Super Bowl or bust teams. They're working their way right back up into that top 10. They're at 7 right now, 9-2 on a 4-game winning streak. Dolphins, quiet as hell, sitting at 9-2 as well on a 2-game winning streak after they lost to the Chicago Bears. And then those Giants are sitting at 7-3. They have a loss next to their name. I don't know if they played their game or not. But they're sitting at 9, and the Ravens sneak their way back into number 10 after losing their third game to the New Orleans Saints in a last-second field goal, a whole bunch of penalties in that game as well, which gives them one lead over the Saints at 7-4, and then the Bears are sitting at 12, 7-4. To round off our top 15, the Seahawks are 6-4, Patriots are 6-4. And no one expected the Patriots to have a 3-game winning streak and be 6-4, and number 14th best team in the league, and the Eagles are on a 2-game losing streak. Lost a big time game to the Commanders, but they're sitting at 6-4. I gotta go look at the actual matchups to find out who else the Eagles lost to, because the last time I saw them, they lost to the Commanders in a big time game. The Commanders got revenge from week 2 and brought the beat back and got their win back. So they split on the ears. All right, and they were your top 15 teams. Now, who's pushing the envelope? The Bengals are sitting at 6-4. After that, there's 500 teams and teams under 500. Now, let's go look at breakdowns by division. The Ravens hold a one-game lead over the Bengals. All right, so the Tampa Bay Buccaneers didn't lose to the Browns because the Browns have 2 losses right now, so that means they didn't play that game yet. And the Steelers are sitting at 3-8. Look like they're scratching and crawling to get the shit together over there. We're still trying to figure out who's the starting quarterback, Trubisky or Pickens over there. But as you can see, there's only a 1-game lead over the Bengals right now with the Ravens, but they do hold on to the North right now. King of the North. Who's the king of the South? AFC South. 6-6 Colts right now. 4-7 Jaguars. 1-10 Texans, and Titans are trying to figure it out over there with their young quarterback. 0-10. AFC easy, right? 9-2 the Bills. 9-2 Dolphins. Right now the Bills are on top of the Dolphins because they did beat them, I think, in a head-up matchup. Don't know if they played again. But who's the king of the AFC East right now? Bills or Dolphins? With the Patriots, I don't know, Falk. Did you expect Black to have his team at 6-4 on a 3-game winning streak right now?
Nah, not that guy.
I think it's a
How
3.
you doing it, bro?
It might be a 3-game race over here in the AFC East. It's only a 2-game lead.
I need to see Tua unleashed. I need to see them 99 receivers unleashed.
We're still waiting on that right now, too, them Dolphins, man. We're waiting to see that speed go crazy over there.
I ain't hearing no get bot. Get the fuck box. I ain't hearing none of that. I don't know what's going on over there.
Let's look at the West right now. We got 2 teams fighting now. Look, when the Chargers and the Broncos matched up, Russell Wilson took a game off with a nursing a calf injury. And the Chargers handled the Broncos very well without their starting quarterback. In my opinion, I can't wait to see this matchup again. I'm trying to find out if Foe is for real or not. But 9-1 right now, giving the Chargers a little run for their money. The Chargers do got a 1-game lead over them. And Russell's back in the fold, and when Russell's on the field, the Broncos are undefeated for.
Yeah, Foe doing his thing, man. Shout out to Foe, man. Like, that's impressive. I mean, his one loss was to the Chargers, correct?
Yep.
Yeah, man, shit. They going at it over there. Yeah, what did Russell Wilson got benched or something? What happened?
He was nursing an injury and shit, so they sat him in a scenario. They didn't let him play.
But he got hurt in like practice or something like that, right?
Yeah, I think it was like practice.
Oh no, they did that to me too. Like the older quarterbacks, they just randomly. Yeah, wow. But yeah, I guess their next game will be a big game, so that'll be their true matchup. You know what I mean? 14.
Listen, and when you look at the West, man, the quarterback play over here is really good. Although Patrick Mahomes is really playing he's really not playing up to Patrick Mahomes' caliber. And let's just be real, like, no disrespect to anybody, but I think, Coach Bo is head over his heels with a team like this. He got the Chiefs, got a really good quarterback, but I don't think his coaching level is up to the par to be able to make Mahomes be who he is. I think they got to find a way to really get the run game going and turn the turnovers down, man, because you're sending guys to the Pro Bowl in one game, and not with Mahomes. You can't have Mahomes $450 million 10-year contract looking like, one of these dud-ass quarterbacks that don't need to be in the league. Like, we got to get shit done over there. We got to get some work done over there. Change up the way he playing. Do something. Figure it out, because Patrick Mahomes is way too good of a player to look like he looking right now with the numbers he looking like. Look at the NFC North. We got a nice little matchup here. 7-3. 7-4. Bears is fighting, but the Packers are 6-5. Vikings at 1-9 right now. Kirk Cousins ain't getting it done at all on an 8-game losing streak. But look, the Lions, the Bears, and the Packers are all in the mix right now. At each one of those, 1, 2, and 3, it's a 1-game lead. 3 for the Lions. He's on 8-3. 1 game over the Bears. 2 games over the Packers. Bears is 1 game over the
Invite
Packers.
sent. Invite sent Chargers.
Oh, y'all about to play that thing?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. All right, let's get through this real fast. NFC South, Buccaneers sitting at 8-2. The Saints, Lava is fighting 7-4. Panthers are 1-10. Falcons are 1-10 as well. Got some work to do. Falcons are still unmanned. Panthers is in tank mode. And the Saints is fighting their ass off to get these Bucks in the situation right now. NFC East, still one of the live divisions. You got the West not in the league yet, but 1-9. Eagles 6-4. Giants 7-3. Commanders, Hitter is 9-2 right now. They balling. And then they've got the lonely West with the Cardinals 10-1. Seahawks 6-4, balling out. But the Rams, with nobody left on their team, is still scratching and crawling and calling and fighting at 500 right now. They are on a 3-game losing streak. And in my opinion, the 49ers are underachieving right now. I don't know what's the problem over there in Niner Nation. But in Santa Clara, they need to get some things fixed over there because this team should not be 7-3 on a 3-game losing streak right now at all. Listen, fellas, when we come back, we'll talk about the awards. We'll talk about, hot teams, not teams, and the kings of the AFC and the NFC, respectively. All right. Other than that, we'll be back later on tonight on the show on Hits the Franchise. We will holler at me. Tune into that Chargers Cardinals game. Holla at me.